So if you're getting into TF2 and decide to play medic, you might want to improve how long you can survive and how long you can keep your team alive. So in this video, I will be giving you some tips I found while playing the German healer. I will only be giving tips for normal matches, not for MVM or competitive, as I have not looked for tips in those game modes. And these tips aren't tested, but you should still try them out and see how they work for you. Before I start actually giving the tips, it would be a good idea to broaden your understanding of the class. The Medic is the 7th class of the Team Fortress 2 roster. He is a neat addition to the group, being the only dedicated healer. Being said dedicated healer, he has little defensive options, only having a melee weapon and a weak syringe gun. Most people will even choose to swap out that syringe gun for a healing longer distance Crusader's crossbow, which is good for quick and long ranged healing for times where your healing target is farther away. Your crossbow will also allow the medic to stay in safer areas, as the medic only has 150 health, being on one of the weaker side classes. The medic is also special in the fact that he will slowly regenerate health, so if you lose health you don't need a sandwich or dispenser to regenerate. So with that being said, let's get into the actual tips. The first tip I have is to stay slightly out of the sightline of the enemy team, or stay away from where their attention will be focused, standing behind a corner or a few meters away from your teammates. Doing this will help you stay alive longer so you can always be a problem to the enemy team. My second tip is that you should always be healing someone, whether it's a support class or a damaging class. This will help you build Uber faster. Make sure as many people on your team are as healthy as possible. Another tip is that you should always be aware of your surroundings as possible. This obviously allows you to die to spies less, but you would also be able to see snipers and look out for rockets and grenades more. Following up on evading, being moving all the time helps with dodging incoming enemy attacks, as well as snipers and any classes that decide to flank you like scouts or spies. You should probably prioritize which classes you would decide to heal. You should probably heal injured damage classes like heavy, soldier, and pyro, rather than stronger support classes like the engineer, scout, or other medics. On the topic of healing the right people, Uber. It can be the base of a good push, or it can be a last resort to keep some of your team alive. But if you Uber at a bad time, then you can waste most of its potential. Even Ubering at a good time, you can still waste a lot of it. Ubering a class that needs to be protected to the push would be a good idea. If the enemy team is clumped together, using your Uber on a pyro would be good, due to the pyro having one of the widest reaching weapons. And if a sentry is stopping your push, then Ubering a demo man or a soldier would be a good amount of damage on the sentry. If you have a fellow medic, then your job just got easier. You should optimize your now doubled healing output by healing a separate person than who your other medic is healing. 2 people with overheal is better than 1. It also allows you to heal more injured teammates by healing 2 people at once instead of 1 again. The enemy should always be on their toes, and if you're on a defending team, then repeatedly Ubering into anywhere that they think is safe is a good way to make sure that they can never get a good forced push. It also allows the enemy team to never fully be set up, keeping engineer buildings never fully upgraded, and if the enemy team has a medic, then this means that you can make sure they never get a full Uber. Hopefully these tips can help you be a better medic. You should take these tips with a grain of salt and find out what works for you best. I don't know if I'm going to do this for any other classes or games, but it might be a series. Remember, I'm not legally liable for anything. So that's all the tips I have. Please like and subscribe, play the game, have fun, and I'll see you in the next one.